Kachin Independence Army captures 16 Naga Army members in Myanmar conflict. The incident: KIA's ambush in Naga territory. On July 18, 2025, a tense situation unfolded in Myanmar's Naga Self-Administered Zone in Saz, near Chanra Gate by the villages of Talu and Langion, west of the Danai River. The Kachin Independence Army, KIA, the armed wing of the Kachin Independence Organization, KIO, carried out an operation that led to the capture of 16 members of the Naga Army, specifically from the National Socialist Council of Nagaland Kaplang, Yung Ang faction, or NSCN-K-YA. The KIA also seized their weapons, escalating tensions between two ethnic groups with a long history of uneasy alliance. The Naga Students Organization, NSO, in Lahe Town, Myanmar, quickly condemned the KIA's actions, calling them a blatant act of hostility and demanding the immediate release of the captured fighters and their arms. According to reports from Morung Express and East Mojo, the NSO's statement painted a grim picture, accusing the KIA of a pattern of aggression against the Naga people. They claimed the July 18 ambush was not an isolated incident, but part of ongoing harassment targeting Naga civilians, including students, women, and children who travel to Kachin State for education, work, or medical care. The NSO alleged that the KIA has been involved in abductions, illegal detentions, forced conscription, and even using Naga youths as human shields in clashes with Myanmar's military or other rival groups. The organization went so far as to warn that the capture could be seen as a de facto declaration of war against the Nagas, a statement that underscores the depth of anger within the community. The NSO also pointed to a failed attempt at dialogue in June 2024 when a Naga delegation from Lahe was turned away from the KIA's headquarters in Laiza. This rejection, combined with the recent ambush, has eroded trust between the two groups. While the NSO stressed that the Naga people have shown restraint, they warned that further aggression could force them to respond in righteous defense. Still, they expressed hope for a peaceful resolution, urging the KIA to free the detained fighters and halt actions that threaten the historic bond between the Kachin and Naga peoples. A shared but strained history, the Kachin and Naga communities, both ethnic minorities in Myanmar and Northeast India, have a relationship rooted in their shared struggles for autonomy. The KIA, formed in 1961, is one of Myanmar's most powerful ethnic armed groups, fighting for Kachin autonomy in northern Myanmar's Kachin State and parts of Shan State. The KIO, its political arm, governs areas like Laiza near the Chinese border, relying heavily on revenue from jade, timber, and gold trade, as noted in sources like Wikipedia and the Center for Strategic and International Studies. The KIA has a long history of guerrilla warfare, clashing with Myanmar's military, known as the Tatmadaw, and other groups like the Communist Party of Burma in decades past. The Naga insurgency, led by groups like the NSCN, seeks self-determination for the Naga people who live across Northeast India in states like Nagaland, Manipur, Assam, and Arunachal Pradesh, and Myanmar's Saging Division and Kachin State. The NSCN-K-YA, the faction involved in the recent incident, operates in the Saz and Sagaing region. Historically, the KIA and Nagas have supported each other. In the 1960s, the KIA helped Naga leader Angami Zapu Fizo escape through Kachin territory and provided arms and training to Naga fighters. The KIA also trained other Indian insurgent groups, such as the United Liberation Front of Assam and the People's Liberation Army of Manipur, in the 1980s, with thousands of fighters benefiting from their support, according to Wikipedia. But this alliance has always had its cracks. The KIA's support for Indian insurgents was often strategic, aimed at securing arms or regional influence. In the late 1980s, India's Research and Analysis Wing briefly supplied weapons to the KIA to curb their backing of Indian militants. But this deal fell apart by 1992 when Myanmar's military disrupted the supply lines. Competition over resource-rich areas, especially jade mines, has also fueled tensions. The Nagas, who rely on mining for their livelihood, often find themselves at odds with the KIA's territorial ambitions. The bigger picture: KIA's recent moves. The capture of the Naga fighters comes amid a surge in KIA military activity in 2024 and 2025 as the group takes on Myanmar's military junta, the State Administrative Council, SAC. which seized power in the 2021 coup. The KIA has become a major force in the resistance, launching bold offensives to reclaim territory and disrupt junta control over valuable jade and rare earth mining areas, as reported by AP News, the Irrawaddy, and Radio Free Asia. Since March 2024, the KIA, alongside allies like the People's Defense Force and the All-Burma Students Democratic Front, has seized over 300 junta positions, including key roads and battalion headquarters. They captured Sumperbum Township in March 2024 and Mansi Township in January 2025, marking significant victories. The KIA also took Kanpaiti, a border town and rare earth mining hub, on November 20th, 2024, hitting the junta's economic interests hard. These gains have strengthened the KIA's position but strained relations with other ethnic groups, including the Nagas, over overlapping territorial claims. The KIA's expansion has also sparked friction with other ethnic armed groups, like the Taang National Liberation Army in Shan State. Clashes in Mabin and Mongmit in 2024 were only resolved through mediation by the Federal Political Negotiation and Consultative Committee, as noted by Frontier Myanmar and ACLED. The KIA's takeover of areas controlled by the new Democratic Army Kachin in Kachin Special Region 1, including Panghua and Kanpaiti, further shows their aggressive push for control, which may explain the Naga community's growing unease. Civilians have borne the brunt of these conflicts. The KIA's operations have displaced thousands, with over 60 people fleeing Kachin State by May 2018, according to Wikipedia. Recent fighting has worsened the humanitarian crisis, with the Myanmar military's airstrikes and artillery attacks destroying over 550 buildings in Kachin State in 2024, as reported by Kachin News Group. The NSO's claims of KIA targeting Naga civilians, including forcing youths into labor or using them as human shields in mining areas, align with broader reports of civilian harassment in KIA-controlled zones. The KIA's control of border areas has also caught China's attention, which relies on Myanmar's rare earth exports for its tech industry. The capture of Kanpaiti disrupted this trade, prompting China to push for ceasefires, though the KIA has largely resisted, according to AP News and the International Crisis Group. The KIA's alliances with resistance groups like the PDFs make it a key player in Myanmar's civil war, but its actions against groups like the NSCN-K-YA could weaken the broader resistance. Myanmar's fragile ethnic alliances. The Chanra Gate incident highlights the challenges of Myanmar's post-coup landscape, where ethnic armed groups, resistance forces, and the junta vie for control in a fractured environment. The 2021 coup reignited old conflicts, with the KIA resuming large-scale operations after a ceasefire period from 1994 to 2011. Their role in the Northern Alliance and partnerships with PDFs show their importance, but their territorial goals have strained ties with neighbors. As detailed by the Center for Strategic and International Studies and ACLED, the Naga-Kachin tensions are especially striking given their shared history of resisting central authority. The NSO's accusations suggest the KIA may be trying to assert control over Naga areas or curb the NSCN-K-YA's influence in the NSAS. The Naga insurgency's cross-border ties, including historical support from China and Pakistan, add another layer of complexity. The KIA's past role in training Indian insurgents shows its regional clout, but its current focus on Kachin State may prioritize local power over old alliances. What's next? The capture of the 16 Naga fighters is a warning sign of how fragile ethnic alliances are in Myanmar's conflict. The KIA's actions, likely aimed at strengthening their position, risk alienating the Nagas and other minorities, which could undermine the fight against the junta. The NSO's call for the release of the fighters and their warning of retaliation signal a potential flashpoint if the KIA doesn't back down. With the KIA's military strength and control over resources, they may feel little need to compromise without outside pressure. China, with its economic stakes in Kachin's resources and border stability, could play a mediating role. The KIA's resistance to Chinese ceasefire calls in the past suggests they won't easily bend, but groups like the FPNCC could help broker talks. The NSO's desire for peace shows they want to avoid all-out conflict, But the Naga community's frustration could push groups like the NSCN-K-YA toward retaliation, complicating the resistance further. Conclusion. The KIA's capture of 16 Naga Army members on July 18, 2025 has brought long simmering tensions to a boiling point. Condemned by the NSO as an act of aggression, the incident threatens the fragile bond between the Kachin and Naga peoples. The KIA's broader campaign against the junta shows their strength, but their actions against the Nagas could fracture critical alliances. Whether this leads to the release of the captives or a deeper conflict will shape the future of Kachin-Naga relations and Myanmar's broader struggle for autonomy. Disclaimer. The information in this report is based on news sources including Marung Express, East Mojo, AP News, The Irrawaddy, Radio Free Asia,